Alright, so I'm going to be doing a review of some fragrances I've had now for some time. These are all clones from the house of Parfums de Marly. They are by Alhambra, but they're clones of popular scents from Parfums de Marly. The first one I'm going to be looking at is Hercules. I've had these, like I said, for a long time. Just never got around to reviewing them. So I figured I'd check them out now and let you know what I think about them. I've also worn them, I can tell you what I feel about them, but I've never done a direct comparison. So this will be the first direct comparison I'm going to be doing of these. The first is going to be Hercules. This is a clone of Parfums de Marly Herod. As you can tell, the bottles are heavily inspired by the actual real fragrance. Clearly, knocking off of the design, the coloration of the bottles, as well as the name. Now, these run on eBay for, I don't know, approximately anywhere in the range of 30 to 40 bucks. I want to say, I think sometimes you could even get it for like 25. These are cheap, affordable clones, not crazy expensive. Bottles are nice, heavy. Caps are plastic, got some weight to them, but certainly not Parfums de Marly quality as far as that goes. Bottles themselves are nice and heavy. They do resemble the actual real, Parfums de Marly bottles somewhat. So here we go. That's the atomizers. You can see wide distribution. Doesn't put out a ton of juice. But it is pretty wide. You are going to get that really nice, smooth, spicy tobacco scent profile that Herod is known for right out the gate. And here is the real one. So again, I'm going to, as you can tell, it shoots out a ton more juice. Now, doing them side by side, I will say the Herod clone is very good. It's slightly sweeter, but it doesn't smell overly alcohol-like. There's not a huge alcohol blast. It also smells very smooth and well blended. The clone is more spicy than the real one. Slightly more spicy, slightly sweeter, but honestly, very close. And surprisingly, the clone is actually jumping off of the test strip more than the real one. Now, I love Herod. Herod is one of my, favorite fragrances from the house of Parfums de Marly. And to be honest with you, this is not a bad pickup at all. I'd say for the money, it's going to be hard to beat. Again, I think this is around 30 bucks, somewhere in that range, 30, 35, for I believe, 100 ml bottle. It's hard to beat. It does perform around the same as the real Herod does. It sits closer to the skin, as does real Herod, but this does kind of push off more than Herod, I found, at least in my experience, in my 2 bottles of Herod. I'd say this is... Again, it's spicier, it's sweeter, but I would say, honestly, I put it in about the 90% range. It is not a bad clone at all. Not a bad clone at all for the money. Again, you want a 100 ml bottle for about 35 bucks. I was blown away the first time I smelled it. I was really impressed. I thought for the money it was going to be really cheap smelling. And I will say the Parfums de Marly clones are some of the best from the house I've been experiencing. So, Hercules by Alhambra. If you're interested in a nice Herod clone, this is it. Again, really good price for the money. Get a lot in there. And it smells, honestly, extremely close. I put it in the 90% range to the original.